The reborn empress considers you a waste. Thus, she brings her family to annul the engagement. However, what she doesn't know is that you have just awakened the system. As long as you refuse to annul the engagement, you will be rewarded with the cultivation of the Great Emperor realm. So after achieving the Great Emperor realm, you give the Empress an evil smile. Liu Ryan, you wouldn't want anything to happen to your family, would you? You were originally one of the 9 holy sons of the Supreme Zhuan Saint Emperor. But because your talent was to defiant of the heavens, you were framed by the other 8 holy sons. After injuring your foundation, your cultivation regressed. Moreover, they even threatened your fiancé to come and annul the engagement, to continue humiliating and suppressing you. At this moment, you, who have just crossed over, understand the reason behind the situation. A hint of ruthlessness flashes in your eyes. This is simply bullying too much. However, after being angry, you feel somewhat helpless in your heart. Now that your foundation is ruined and your strength greatly diminished, what use is anger? At this moment, the system prompt sounds. 1A. The invincible strong system has successfully bound, detecting ... The host has fallen and is currently suffering the humiliation of a broken engagement. Reward, Great Emperor level cultivation. You are instantly stunned. Great Emperor cultivation. The laws of this world have been shattered, and it's long been impossible to become an emperor. Therefore, a quasi-emperor is the peak. Wouldn't you be invincible in the Great Emperor realm? You immediately look up at Liu Ryan. I refuse to annul the engagement. The system's prompt sounds. Host has completed the task of refusing to annul the engagement. Reward, Great Emperor cultivation. With the system prompt coming to an end, you instantly feel a continuous surge of powerful energy flooding into your body. Your realm is also rapidly ascending. In just a brief 2.5 minutes, your realm directly reaches the Great Emperor realm. The entire process is painless. The system is truly impressive. At this moment, Liu Ryan furrows her brows. The other party refused so casually. Of course, this was within expectations. After all, even though Su Yun's foundation was destroyed and his cultivation regressed, he is still a holy son of the Supreme Zhuan Saint Emperor. For such a face-slapping annulment of the engagement, how could he easily accept it? However, Liu Ryan has made up her mind today. The engagement must be annulled. Not to mention the threats from the other 8 holy sons of the Supreme Zhuan Saint Emperor, but also considering his own position as a dignified reborn empress. She cannot possibly marry a mere holy son. She only recently regained her memories. When she learned of her engagement, she immediately wanted to annul it. After all, how could a dignified empress marry an ordinary person? But now, having been reincarnated and with her realm still low, the Liu family is not a major clan. The cultivation resources they can obtain are indeed limited. To acquire more cultivation resources to enhance her realm, she has not yet come to annul the engagement. But now, with Su Yun's foundation damaged, she can no longer rely on his reputation to obtain resources for herself. Combined with the demands and rewards from the 8 holy sons, it was only natural for her to come and annul the engagement. At this moment, you look at the people of the Liu family below the main hall, a playful look in your eyes. Although the Liu family was coerced by the 8 holy sons, which is why they chose to come and annul the engagement, they can be considered victims too. But after all, it was them who came to annul the engagement, slapping your face in the process. Moreover, since they came to annul the engagement, it means they have sided with the 8 holy sons. They are your enemies. You won't be polite to your enemies. Liu Ryan, your father and uncles all knelt down to beg for mercy. Aren't you afraid? Liu Ryan's eyes are cold, and her tone is indifferent. You want me to kneel? I'm afraid you can't handle it if I do. Upon hearing this, you smile evilly. Then let's see how I can't handle it. You instantly release your aura. Liu Ryan only feels a powerful pressure sweeping over her, as if 2 mountains are instantly pressing down on her. Her knees can't help but bend. Liu Ryan is instantly horrified. How is this possible? She, a dignified empress reborn, though born in an ordinary family, has extraordinary talent. Moreover, she cultivates the emperor-level technique from her previous life. With the many resources she obtained after the engagement, her cultivation has progressed rapidly. Now she is at the peak of the Tianyuan realm, equivalent to the cultivation of the holy sons from various sacred lands. As long as she joins any of the sacred lands, she could become a saintess in the shortest time. And this was her confidence in coming to annul the engagement. But now, with just a shout from Su Yun, her strength at the peak of the Tianyuan realm couldn't withstand the pressure, and she couldn't help but want to kneel. Wasn't it said that his foundation was damaged and his strength had greatly diminished? Then what is this now? Could it be that Su Yun was pretending? He wanted to hide his strength, and now that they came to annul the engagement and discovered this secret, he probably wants to kill them to silence them. At this moment, a trace of panic appeared in Liu Ryan's heart. She didn't want to die. Then a hint of determination flashed in her eyes. As long as the green hills remain, there will always be firewood to burn. Spare my life, holy son. I am willing to marry you. After saying this, she directly knelt down along with the pressure. This allowed me to see a vast expanse of snow-white waves. This is what women in the martial world are like. Their cultivation is indeed both large and white. However, seeing her so decisively kneeling to beg for mercy, the killing intent in your eyes intensified. Originally, the other party annulled the engagement just because your cultivation had regressed, betraying you and joining the alliance of the 8 holy sons. Now that you have shown great strength, she again unhesitatingly betrays the 8 holy sons. How can such a backstabbing person be allowed to live? You look at the kneeling Liu Ryan with cold eyes. You want to marry me? You're not worthy. After saying this, the pressure, which was already as heavy as Mount Tai, intensified. Blood oozed from the mouths of the Liu family members below. This is a true killing move. At this moment, Liu Ryan's heart hardened. She decided to abandon the Liu family and escape. As a former empress, she naturally had many life-saving methods. However, when she tried to use a secret technique to escape, she found that the technique couldn't be used. The space was sealed. At this moment, the empress was shocked. This is a space technique only mastered at the Void Fusion realm. Could it be that Su Yun has reached the Void Fusion realm? A Void Fusion realm under 200 years old. This is simply a peerless monster. At this moment, she regretted it. If you had told me you had such talent, why would I annul the engagement? However, at this moment, a figure walked in from outside the door. Junior brother Su, what skill is there in bullying a weak woman? If you have the ability, come and compete with me. The person who came was Jinlong, one of the 8 holy sons. You look at him calmly, thinking that another person has come to seek death. Jinlong's face carried a gentle smile, as if he really came to visit you. But the mockery in his eyes revealed his true thoughts. He glanced at the kneeling and begging Liu family members, a flash of anger appearing on his face. The mere Liu family dares to come to my supreme Zhuan sacred land to annul the engagement. You simply have no sense of life and death. Originally, the Liu family was forced by them to come and annul the engagement. He came here to laugh at Su Yun, but unexpectedly, what he saw when he entered was them kneeling and begging for mercy. Seeing no joke, his face naturally turned sour. Jinlong looked at the few people kneeling on the ground, a trace of ruthlessness flashing in his eyes. Junior brother, let me handle these Liu family members for you. Saying this, he was about to make a move, but just as he raised his hand, he found himself unable to move. Then Su Yun's cold voice echoed, "Did I allow you to make a move?" As the words fell, Jinlong, caught off guard, suddenly knelt down. He struggled to look up at Su Yun. What is happening? Su Yun did not answer, only looked at him indifferently. The pressure he emitted increased again. A scream escaped from Jinlong's mouth, his whole body being pressed to the ground, blood spurting from his mouth. One could even hear the faint sound of bones breaking. Then the pressure vanished. Jinlong panted heavily, feeling he could move again, but his eyes were full of terror. You have destroyed my foundation. Indeed. Why is it that you are allowed to destroy my foundation, but I am not allowed to destroy yours? Jinlong roared in realization. Su-yun, before you entered the sacred land, you were nothing but an ordinary mortal. How can you compare yourself to the children of aristocratic families like us? Feeling his foundation being destroyed, Jinlong was both angry and furious. Su-yun was amused by his words. Originally, I just wanted to return the favor, but now it seems I should take all of your cultivation as well. Jinlong's tone turned icy. Take my cultivation? You just used a rare treasure to launch a sneak attack. Do you really think you're invincible? He lightly patted his waist, and a green light flashed. A jade dragon continuously circled around him, shielding him within. The Panlong Wall! The Liu family patriarch in the hall exclaimed. This is the ancient wonder, the Panlong Wall. It is said that this treasure was formed by a true dragon coiling and sitting in meditation. It has the ability to protect its owner. Even a great emperor expert would find it difficult to break its defense. Even Su-yun was slightly surprised in his heart. Jinlong actually possessed such a treasure. But Liu Ryan's voice rang out. However, this is not the ancient Panlong Wall. It is a counterfeit made using the essence blood of a flood dragon combined with various materials. As a reborn empress, her knowledge was naturally far beyond that of ordinary people. With one glance, she recognized the origin of this rare treasure. Correct! I didn't expect a girl from a secular family to recognize this. Although this is just a counterfeit, it still contains a trace of the Dragon Clan's power. Its defense is not comparable to ordinary rare treasures. There was a hint of pride in his eyes. This was a treasure he had obtained after much effort. At this moment, the system prompt sounded again. Detected. The host does not possess a top-tier rare treasure. Task issued. Abolish Jinlong's cultivation. Task reward. Ancient Panlong Wall. Su-yun was delighted. He had triggered another task. This made Su-yun somewhat guess the pattern of the system-issued tasks. That is, as long as someone comes to trouble him, he can trigger rewards. Returning to his thoughts, he now needed to complete the current task and obtain the ancient Panlong Wall. Thinking about the description of the Panlong Wall just now, Su-yun's gaze towards Jinlong became much gentler. He couldn't let such a piece of fat meat slip away. Then Su-yun casually raised his hand. Jinlong felt a terrifying pressure coming at him again. But seeing the dragon shadow circling around him, his initially tense heart calmed down once more. Crack! Just as his mind was at peace, he saw the rare treasure in his hand shatter. At the moment the Panlong Wall shattered, Jinlong was once again pressed to the ground, unable to move. He could only let out a miserable scream. You actually dared to abolish my cultivation? He looked at Su-yun in disbelief. His heart filled with fear. I, Su-yun, always keep my word. In the hall! As Su-yun's words fell, he saw the system prompt. Congratulations to the host for completing the task. Reward, rare treasure, ancient Panlong Wall. At the moment the prompt appeared, he felt a jade pendant appear in his storage pouch. Looking at the now crippled Jinlong, a playful look appeared in Su-yun's eyes. For the sake of our shared sect, I won't kill you today. Scram! He then directly moved Jinlong out of the hall. Seeing the suddenly disappearing Jinlong holy son, the Liu family members were puzzled. Why did the Jinlong holy son suddenly disappear? Only Liu Ryan saw a hint of the truth. This is a technique only mastered at the Void Fusion realm, the art of spatial transfer. Su-yun had indeed reached the Void Fusion realm. She immediately made a firm decision. Holy son, since you do not wish to marry me, I am willing to be a servant. I only ask that you spare my Liu family members. Hearing this, you know what she is thinking. In the end, it is still for self-preservation. Such flexibility and adaptability. It would indeed be a pity to kill her. Keeping her around wouldn't hurt. If one day she betrays you, you can just destroy her then. Soo-yeon had already made up his mind, but he did not show any of it. Spare the Liu family? Do you think you are in a position to negotiate with me now? Upon hearing this, the Liu family members immediately showed looks of terror. However, Liu Ryan heard something different in Soo-yeon's words. If the other party wanted to silence her people, he wouldn't say any unnecessary words. The fact that he was willing to speak now meant there was hope for survival. It meant there was hope for survival. Immediately, she knelt down. As long as the Holy Son agrees, I am willing to offer a wisp of my soul. Soo-yeon thought this woman was indeed smart. She had heard the implied meaning in his words. Hand over your soul. Liu Ryan hurriedly complied. A blue light emerged from the center of her forehead and floated into the air. Soo-yeon raised his hand and summoned the blue light to float before him. He opened his mouth and swallowed it. At the same time, he felt a vague connection. It seemed that with just a thought, the woman before him would instantly turn to dust. Very well, now swear an oath to the Tao of Heaven that today your Liu family came to annul the engagement. I will not pursue this matter further. Upon hearing this, the Liu family members were overjoyed. They hadn't expected to survive. They hurriedly swore the Tao of Heaven oath, vowing never to betray Soo-yeon in the future. But at this moment, Liu Ryan stood still. Her expression fluctuated uncertainly. Earlier, she had handed over her soul without hesitation, because as an empress and a strong cultivator, she naturally had backup plans. As long as she could reach the quasi-emperor realm, she could use a secret technique to undo it. But swearing an oath to the Tao of Heaven was different. If she ever violated the oath, when she reached a high level of cultivation, she would surely face the Tao of Heaven's retribution. At this moment, Soo-yeon coldly sneered in his heart. Sure enough, this woman still wanted to keep a backup plan even in the face of absolute power. He looked at the motionless Liu Ryan. What's the matter? Are you unwilling? Could it be that you were not truly sincere in your submission earlier? Hearing Soo-yeon's urging, Liu Ryan had no choice but to force a smile. She swore the oath to the Tao of Heaven. At this point, Soo-yeon finally smiled. Very good. Since you have all submitted, I will not pursue the matter of you coming to annul the engagement today. However, the engagement itself is also annulled. You may withdraw. The Liu family members looked troubled. Everyone looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Seeing this, Soo-yeon's eyebrows slightly furrowed. What's the matter? Do you expect me to invite you to a meal? The Liu family patriarch immediately knelt down in fear. Holy Son, now that we have submitted to you, if we leave, the other Holy Sons will not let us go easily. Soo-yeon raised his hand to interrupt him. I will handle this matter. You do not need to worry. The Liu family members wanted to say more, but Soo-yeon's face turned cold. What? My words mean nothing? Seeing this, the Liu family members reluctantly bid farewell and left. Liu Ryan, don't follow them out. Stay here and be by my side. Although Liu Ryan had sworn an oath to the Tao of Heaven and handed over a wisp of her soul, Soo-yeon still felt a bit uneasy about her. After all, before he transmigrated, he was just an ordinary person. Facing these cunning cultivators, he still needed to be cautious. Once everyone had left, Soo-yeon took out the Panlong wall and recognized it as his master by dripping blood on it. The moment the recognition was complete, Soo-yeon felt a multitude of connections forming between himself and the jade pendant. 3 days later, after Soo-yeon had completely refined the Panlong wall, many methods for operating the Panlong wall appeared in his mind. Additionally, he gained a certain understanding of the Panlong wall's defensive capabilities. This ancient wonder was indeed extraordinary. After refining it, it could automatically protect him. It could even withstand a full-force attack from someone at the peak of the Great Emperor realm. However, at this moment, Liu Ryan's voice came from outside the door. Holy Sun! Several Holy Suns, including Sichuqing, have arrived. Alright, I know! Su Yun then brought Liu Ryan to the Holy Sun Hall. Suddenly, a young man dressed in luxurious clothes, with a proud expression, spoke up. I didn't expect you to really dare to come out. Are you here to beg for mercy? Detected, host is being mocked. New task issued, instantly kill the person who spoke disrespectfully. Reward 1 emperor pill. Hearing this, Su Yun was overjoyed. Sure enough, as long as someone came to trouble him, the system would trigger a task. Seeing Su Yun standing still without replying, they thought he was scared. Immediately, Ji and Nan tried to take advantage of Liu Ryan. But as soon as he lifted his foot, his entire body instantly exploded, turning into a mist of blood that dispersed into the air. Everything happened too fast, so fast that even the other Holy Suns present did not react in time. So, Su Yun, did you do this? Sichuqing looked at Su Yun with uncertainty. Ji and Nan's strength, though not the strongest among them, was definitely not weak. But now, he had exploded and died without anyone noticing. This was terrifying. Su Yun didn't care about their thoughts. Instead, he looked at the system prompt. Congratulations to the host for completing the task. Instantly killed the disrespectful person. Reward 1 emperor pill. Emperor pill, a pill refined by an ancient alchemist. After consumption, one can break through to the great emperor realm in a short time. Ling Feng stared at Su Yun with a vigilant expression. Su Yun? What exactly are you trying to do? What am I trying to do? Su Yun found it somewhat amusing. Weren't you the ones who came to trouble me? And now you ask me what I want to do. Su Yun, you misunderstood. We didn't come to trouble you. Sichuqing, despite his fear, forced a smile. We found a treasure map and wanted to bring it to you as a peace offering. Hearing this, Su Yun became interested. A treasure map? What treasure map? Show it to me. Hearing this, Sichuqing was overjoyed. Reluctantly, Ling Feng took out the treasure map from his storage ring, showing a face more sorrowful than crying. Junior brother, please look. This is the treasure map I brought for you. Su Yun raised his hand, and the treasure map in Ling Feng's hand floated directly in front of him. Opening it, it was indeed a treasure map. He looked at Ling Feng curiously and asked, "Do you know the origin of this treasure map?" Ling Feng naturally knew. Seeing Su Yun's interest, he breathed a sigh of relief. If I reveal the origin of this treasure map, will you let me go, junior brother Su? Senior brother Ling Feng, what are you saying? It sounds like I won't let you leave. Su Yun's face changed, and he said reproachfully, "We are both holy sons of the Supreme Zhuan sacred land. How can you think of me this way?" Ling Feng quickly smiled and nodded. Yes, junior brother Su is right. It was wrong of me to say that. This treasure map records the location of an ancient great emperor's tomb. There is an opportunity to become a great emperor here. Upon hearing this, Su Yun lost interest. Now he has already reached the pinnacle of being a great emperor. He doesn't need any opportunities to become a great emperor. Moreover, he holds an emperor pill in his hand. However, Su Yun thought of a question. In this era, a quasi-emperor is the peak. This treasure map is considered a treasure in others' eyes. But such a treasure, how could a saint like Ling Feng possibly get it? Even the master of a holy land would find it extremely difficult. This treasure map must be a conspiracy. This aroused some interest in Su Yun. Ling Feng saw that Su Yun did not speak and became a little flustered. He had already taken out the treasure map. Could this guy still not be satisfied? Then he looked at Si Tuking and Zhang Qingfeng beside him and came up with an idea. Junior brother Su Yun, actually this time, not only did I bring a treasure, senior brother Zhang and senior brother Sichu also brought treasures. At this point, Si Tuking and Zhang Qingfeng were both stunned. How did the topic suddenly shift to them? Really? Su Yun looked at the three of them with joy. I wonder what treasures senior brother Zhang and senior brother Sichu have brought for junior brother? Both Si Tuking and Zhang Xingfeng glared at Ling Feng. Then Si Tuking forced a smile and looked at Su Yun. Junior brother Su, this is a treasure I specially brought for you. It is a protective magic item, named the Wind Pearl. If you use this treasure in battle, it can form a wind wall around you, protecting you within it. Su Yun looked at the item the other person took out. It was a blue pearl. Judging by the spirituality it exuded, it could indeed be considered a treasure. Su Yun raised his hand, and the wine pearl flew to Liu Ryan. This item is of no use to me, so I'll give it to you. Liu Ryan didn't expect Su Yun to be so generous. Thank you, Saint. She hurriedly bowed and accepted it. Seeing this made Si Tuking feel a pang of pain. He had spent a considerable portion of his wealth to get this treasure. He didn't expect Su Yun to just glance at it and then immediately give it away. Su Yun waved his hand, signaling Liu Ryan to stand aside. He then looked towards Zhang Xingfeng in the hall. Senior brother Zhang, I wonder what treasure you have brought for me. Zhang Xingfeng forced a smile, hesitated for a moment, and took out a talisman from his storage ring. Junior brother Su, this is a 1,000-mile teleportation talisman, refined by my master, King Yun. It contains various spatial powers, allowing you to travel 1,000 miles in an instant. Su Yun glanced at it, and let it float to Liu Ryan's side. This talisman is of no use to me. You can keep it. Su Yun had already reached the pinnacle of being a great emperor. With just a thought, he could travel 1,000 miles instantly. This 1,000-mile teleportation talisman was as useless as chicken ribs to him. Thank you, Saint. Liu Ryan was somewhat delighted. Such a life-saving item, and Su Yun gave it to her so easily. But when she thought of the few people in front of her, each backed by a quasi-emperor master, she realized that once they returned, they would definitely bring their masters to trouble Su Yun. As Su Yun's maid, she would likely suffer as well. It would be better to kill all three of them now, leaving no witnesses. After putting away the talisman, she gritted her teeth and spoke to Su Yun. Saint, you just killed Jianan. If they leave, they will surely spread the word. I think it's better to keep them here as well. Upon hearing this, the three were immediately terrified. Su Yun was surprised. He didn't expect this woman to be so bold, but after testing the system's task trigger conditions, he no longer had the intention of killing these three. Of course, he wouldn't just let them leave easily either. Back when his foundation was destroyed, these people were all involved. You make a good point. Su Yun pretended to agree, nodding. Then he showed a playful smile and looked at Si Tuking and the other two in the hall. Dear senior brothers, you previously conspired to ruin my foundation. This matter is not yet settled. I think it would be fair to cripple your foundations as well. As soon as he finished speaking, the three of them immediately fell to the ground. Bang! In an instant, they felt their foundations were completely destroyed. Their faces turned extremely pale. Su Yun, you will die a terrible death. You took our treasures, and yet you still destroyed our foundations. The hot-tempered Ling Feng couldn't hold back and roared. When I return, I will report this to my master. Seeing this, Si Tuking cursed inwardly, calling him an idiot. Can't you see the situation we're in? How dare you provoke him further? You're simply seeking death. It seems senior brother Ling Feng is still not convinced. In that case, let me give you an additional gift, so you can report it well to your master. After he finished speaking, the pressure on Ling Feng, already heavy as Mount Tai, became even more oppressive. Then a miserable scream was heard from Ling Feng, as his cultivation was completely crippled. All right, this matter is now settled. You may leave. After Su Yun finished speaking, without waiting for them to say anything, he waved his hand and sent them out of the hall. Now, he would wait for them to return and bring trouble to him. As long as someone comes to trouble him, it would trigger the system to issue a task, earning rewards. He was already looking forward to the next time the system task would be triggered, wondering what rewards he would receive. Soo-yeon leisurely took out the treasure map he had just obtained. According to the location shown on the map, the Great Emperor's tomb was located a mere 1,000,000 kilometers east of Taeksuan Holy Land. Since he had nothing better to do, he decided to go take a look. With this decision, Soo-yeon planned to set off immediately. However, thinking about how many people he had offended, if he left just like that, his enemies would come looking for trouble, and Liu Ryan would be the first to suffer. It would be better to take her along. Let's go! I'll take you treasure hunting. The next second, in the boundless sea, Soo-yeon looked at the endless ocean before him, took out the treasure map, and compared it to their current location. The opportunity to become a great emperor should be right below. Liu Ryan also looked down, trying to discern something, but found nothing unusual. It seems we are not the only ones who obtained the treasure map. Soo-yeon suddenly looked up towards the horizon. Soon, he saw two figures flying rapidly towards them. Soo-yeon, holy son of Taeksuan Holy Land, what are you doing here? Why? Holy Maiden, did you also get the treasure map? The Holy Maiden of Yaoqi showed surprise. She thought she was the only one with the treasure map. Unexpectedly, Soo-yeon had one too. Could it be that there are multiple copies of this treasure map? As the two were conversing, several more figures appeared in the distance, rapidly flying towards them. Soo-yeon and the others looked towards the distant figures. Before they arrived, one of them shouted loudly, "Yaoer, I didn't expect to see you here." The Holy Maiden of Yaoqi's face turned black upon hearing this. Damn it! Why did I have to run into this fat pig here? Lin Yao, as the Holy Maiden of Yaoqi Holy Land, naturally had many suitors. Among them were some who were ugly, but powerful. For example, the approaching fatty, Su Hongliang. Su Hongliang was from the True Dragon Holy Land. He was also a holy son and very powerful. However, he was crude and violent, and extremely ugly, a bizarre figure among the holy sons. Yaoer, are you waiting here just for me? Lin Yao didn't want to respond to him. Soo-yeon frowned. The smell of sweat from the other person was really unbearable. Fatty Su, how long has it been since you last bathed? Can you roll away a bit? Su Hongliang looked over at Soo-yeon. Soo-yeon, you court death. As he said this, he threw a punch at Soo-yeon. Soo-yeon's expression did not change. He just narrowed his eyes slightly, and a massive pressure fell on Su Hongliang. He was instantly smashed into the sea, with a loud bang, sending up towering waves. Seeing the huge splash below, everyone was stunned. Su Hongliang was defeated by Soo-yeon in one move. This was something none of them expected. When did the ninth holy son of Taeksuan Holy Land become so powerful? Lin Yao wondered silently. Not long ago, she heard that Soo-yeon's foundation had been destroyed, and his strength greatly diminished. But now it seems those were just rumors. The people who came with Su Hongliang looked at Soo-yeon with a hint of fear in their eyes. Luckily, Soo-yeon didn't use lethal force just now. Su Hongliang had already flown back up from the seawater below. His entire body was soaked with seawater. He looked at Soo-yeon with a bit of fear in his eyes. Time quickly passed, and it was already noon. Besides Soo-yeon and the others who arrived earlier, two more groups of people had arrived. However, these two groups were just elders from some first-class sects. Their status was much lower compared to Soo-yeon and the others. While everyone was chatting, something unusual suddenly appeared below the sea surface. The entrance to the Great Emperor's tomb. Someone shouted. This immediately energized everyone who had been chatting. Soo-yeon also looked down at the sea surface. With his powerful cultivation, he easily discovered a huge tomb guarded by a formation below. Ding! The system detected that the host had discovered the Great Emperor's tomb, now issuing a tomb exploration. Task reward, Emperor level Array Master. Soo-yeon was delighted. He hadn't expected to trigger another task. It seemed he had indeed come to the right place this time. He then looked at Liu Ryan beside him. Let's go! We're heading down! With that, he made a spatial teleportation, and the two of them disappeared instantly. At this moment, Soo-yeon had already brought Liu Ryan to the entrance of the Great Emperor's tomb. With just a sweep of his divine sense, he discovered numerous arrays guarding this place. This made Soo-yeon frown. Could it be that I overthought it? Is this really a Great Emperor's tomb, and not some conspiracy? Although he had triggered the system task, he still felt something was off. Soo-yeon planned to teleport with Liu Ryan again, to go deeper and take a look. But he found that the entire tomb's space was sealed by arrays. Spatial powers could not be mobilized. There was actually such a powerful spatial sealing array. It seemed the array mastery here was extremely high. Let's go! We'll see what's ahead. Liu Ryan nodded in agreement. Although this place was full of dangers, dangers often came with opportunities. She felt a bit of anticipation as well. She quickly followed Soo-yeon. As they walked along, they encountered some arrays blocking their way, but Liu Ryan easily broke through them. Although she didn't specialize in arrays in her previous life, she was an empress with extensive knowledge. She understood common arrays. This made Soo-yeon look at her with new respect. Outside the tomb, above the sea, a ragged old man suddenly appeared. With a sweep of his divine sense, he discovered the anomaly below the sea. My disciple didn't lie to me. There really is a tomb here. Just a moment ago, his disciple Su Hongliang had sent him a message, saying he had found a great emperor's tomb. He had already entered it with others. This group was composed of holy sons and holy maidens from various holy lands, and some people from first-class sects. There wasn't even a quasi-emperor among them. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but get excited. Ha! It seems my opportunity to become an emperor is right before me. Before he could finish speaking, he saw several figures flying towards him from a distance. It was the gold and silver elders of Yaoqi Holy Land, and some quasi-emperors from first-class sects. Desolate Sovereign, I didn't expect to meet you here. Oh, it's friend Yunu. It's been a long time. Are you also here for the Great Emperor's opportunity? That's right. I am indeed here for the opportunity. Then he changed the topic. However, although the Great Emperor's opportunity is precious, it must be fraught with dangers. Why don't you cooperate with us? The desolate sovereign frowned. He had no intention of cooperating with them, wanting to monopolize the opportunity here. Unfortunately, he was the weakest among the three parties present. If he refused, he wouldn't gain any benefits. Very well, but how will the opportunity be divided? We have already discussed this matter. Yunu Taoist explained. The common opportunities ahead will be distributed based on contribution. As for the final Great Emperor's opportunity, it will depend on one's ability. The desolate sovereign thought for a moment, then agreed to their proposal. After speaking, they flew towards the entrance of the tomb below the sea. However, after they left, a figure appeared from the void. 6 quasi-emperors, plus those young cultivators from before. Once the master absorbs their blood essence, he will surely be revived. After saying this, the figure disappeared back into the void. At the same time, inside the tomb, thanks to Liu Ryan's array-breaking ability, Soo-yeon and Liu Ryan had reached the depths of the Great Emperor's tomb. Suddenly, Soo-yeon stopped. Wait! Looking at the fork in the path ahead, Soo-yeon was carefully sensing the situation ahead with his divine sense. Let's go left. A medicinal field? Liu Ryan was initially stunned, then overjoyed. Based on the journey so far, she had determined that this tomb had existed for at least 10,000 years. If there really is a medicinal field here, Then there must be treasures over 10,000 years old in the medicinal field. That's right. I've already detected some with my divine sense. After saying this, Su Yun stepped towards the direction of the medicinal field. Liu Ryan followed closely behind. Moments later, a vast medicinal field appeared before Su Yun and Liu Ryan. This is... Liu Ryan was shocked. Here, treasures over 10,000 years old were everywhere. Even treasures over 100,000 years old could be spotted at a glance. Even though she was a reborn empress, she was still so astonished that she was at a loss for words. However, the medicinal field was protected by an array. To obtain the treasures, they needed to break the array. Liu Ryan stepped forward to examine it carefully, but her expression gradually became awkward. Saint, the level of these arrays is too high, and they are a combination of multiple arrays. As she spoke, her voice grew quieter. To think that an empress like her couldn't break this array. Fortunately, Su Yun understood her meaning. "Let me handle this," he said. Hearing this, Liu Ryan looked surprised. The saint understands arrays? No! Su Yun shook his head, but breaking arrays doesn't necessarily require understanding them. Liu Ryan was puzzled. If you don't understand arrays, how can you break them? But soon, she understood what Su Yun meant. Su Yun directly approached the array protecting the medicinal field. He raised his right hand and struck the array forcefully. With just one hit, cracks appeared on the protective shield formed by the array. Liu Ryan was stunned when she saw this. She had previously examined the array and knew how strong its defenses were. But now, Su Yun had created cracks with just one punch. If he continued, he might actually break it open. This strength was simply terrifying. This ancient array was indeed powerful. Even after all this time, it still had such strong defenses. Su Yun looked at the cracks on the array and felt admiration. If the array had sufficient spiritual energy and someone was controlling it, who knows how powerful it would be. Thinking of this, he felt more anticipation about becoming an array master. Not long after, Su Yun had successfully broken the array with brute force. Liu Ryan, who watched the entire process, was dumbfounded. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't have believed that someone could break an ancient array with sheer strength. Hurry over and get to work. Su Yun's voice came from a distance, snapping Liu Ryan out of her thoughts. I'm coming. Saint, you're amazing. She quickly approached the medicinal field. Instantly, a rich medicinal fragrance filled her senses and flowed into her body. With just a simple breath, she felt her cultivation slightly increase. 10,000-year-old spiritual herbs are indeed powerful. Liu Ryan marveled inwardly and then began to work busily.